Now let us get back to Luke's Gospel. Now the men who were holding Jesus began to mock him and beat him. They kept heaping insults on him until day came when the assembly of the elders brought him to their council. They asked Jesus if he was the Messiah. So Jesus replied, "If I tell you, you will not believe, and if I question you, you will not answer. But from now on, the Son of Man will be seated at the right hand of the power of God." Then they asked, "Are you then the Son of God?" And he said, "You say that I am." So they deemed no further testimony was needed, and the assembly rose as a body and brought Jesus before Pilate. They accused him of perverting their nation and saying that he claimed to be the Messiah, a king. Pilate asked Jesus if he was the king of the Jews. But Jesus answered, "You say so." Still, Pilate could not find basis for an accusation against him. But the people were insistent. Having learned that Jesus was a Galilean, Pilate said he was Herod's jurisdiction and sent Jesus to Herod, who was himself in Jerusalem at that time. Now Herod questioned him and thought at some length, but Jesus gave him no answers. They put an elegant robe on him and sent him back to Pilate. Pilate reconvened the chief priests, the leaders, and the people, and said to them, "You brought me this man as one who was perverting the people, and here I am, examined him in your presence, and I have not found this man guilty of any of your charges against him. Neither has Herod, for he sent him back to us. Indeed, he has done nothing to deserve death." Pilate truly wanted to release Jesus. So again he addressed them, but they kept shouting, "Crucify! Crucify him!" A third time he pleaded that there were no grounds to sentence him to death. "I will therefore have him flogged and then release him." But they kept urgently demanding with loud shouts that he should be crucified, and their voices prevailed. So Pilate gave his verdict that their demand should be granted. As they went, a great number of the people followed him, and among them were many who were weeping and wailing for him. Jesus comforted them and blessed them. Finally, they arrived at a place called the Skull, where Jesus was to be crucified. He was repeatedly mocked with calls of, "He saved others, let him save himself if he is the Messiah of God, the chosen one," and, "If you are the King of the Jews, save yourself." Jesus said, "Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing." Then they crucified Jesus, there with criminals, one on his right and one on his left. One of the criminals said, "Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom." And Jesus replied, "Truly I tell you, today you will be with me in paradise." For 3 hours in the middle of the day, darkness came over the whole land. As the sun's light failed, the curtain of the temple was torn in two. Then Jesus, crying out with a loud voice, said, "Father, into your hands I commend my spirit." Having said this, he breathed his last. A member of the council, Joseph of Arimathea, had asked Pilate for the body of Jesus. He took down the body, wrapped it in a linen cloth, and laid it in a rock-hewn tomb where no one had ever been laid.